Ever look at your drawing and think, why do the eyes feel dead? Not bad, not ugly, just flat. No emotion, no depth, no life. And the weird thing is, even if the anatomy is technically correct, the eyes can still feel completely empty. That's because drawing good eyes isn't just about memorizing shapes. It's about understanding structure, perspective, lighting, and how tiny details affect emotion. So in this video, let's break down how eyes actually work, and more importantly, how artists use that information to create eyes that feel alive. The biggest mistake beginners make. A lot of people draw eyes like stickers placed on a face. Flat lines, flat circles, flat shading. But the eye is a 3D form sitting inside the skull. The eyelids wrap around the eyeball, the eyelashes curve outward, the cornea protrudes forward. Even the shadows follow the curvature of the eye. Once you start thinking about the eye as a solid object instead of a symbol, everything instantly becomes more believable. 2. Understanding eye perspective. Before details, you need perspective. The eye changes shape depending on the viewing angle because the eyelids are wrapping around a sphere. If the camera is above the character, the eye curves downward. If the camera is below, the curve flips upward. You can actually understand this easier by studying a simple ball first. The eyeball behaves almost exactly the same way. Forms wrap around the surface. Sides compress in perspective. Shapes overlap depending on angle. This is also why eyes viewed from the side appear much narrower compared to a front view. From the front, you see the full width. From the side, the visible area becomes compressed because the eyeball is turning away from the camera. And another detail people forget, the eyelids usually sit slightly in front of the eyeball itself. That tiny overlap creates depth. 3. Eyelids equals personality. This is honestly one of the most important parts. Most people focus entirely on the iris and pupil. But the eyelids are what actually define expression. You can completely change a character's personality just by adjusting eyelid thickness, angle, openness, fold shape, lower eyelid tension. Sharper upper eyelids can feel more mature or intimidating. Rounder and softer shapes usually feel younger or friendlier. Heavy eyelids can create a tired, calm, or seductive look. Even tiny changes completely alter the emotion of the face. That's why stylized artists often simplify the eyeball itself but spend way more time designing the eyelids. 4. The eye isn't actually a perfect sphere. This part changed how I drew eyes forever. The eyeball isn't perfectly round. There's a transparent layer called the cornea that bulges outward slightly over the iris. That tiny bump affects highlights, reflections, shadows, side profiles. And it's one of the reasons realistic eyes feel glossy and alive. A lot of artists accidentally draw the eye like a flat marble, which removes depth instantly. Even the pupil and iris aren't just printed onto the eyeball. The iris sits underneath the cornea, creating subtle depth inside the eye itself. That little bit of dimensionality matters way more than people think. 5. Why real eyes have more depth. Another thing that makes eyes feel natural is color variation. Real irises usually contain multiple colors blended together. In lighter eyes, you'll often notice warmer browns near the pupil, darker outer rings, subtle radial patterns, tiny color shifts caused by lighting. Even dark brown eyes still contain variation. They're rarely just one flat color. The sclera, the white part of the eye, also isn't pure white. It picks up shadows, ambient color, reflections, and tiny blood vessels. Keeping those subtle imperfections makes the eye feel more organic. 6. The lower eyelid is underrated. Most artists ignore the lower eyelid completely. But this area adds so much personality. Things like eye bags, wrinkles, waterline, under-eye fat, the lacrimal caruncle, all affect how mature, tired, cute, or realistic a character looks. A lot of anime styles remove these details entirely to create cleaner and younger-looking characters. Personally, I like finding a middle ground, stylized enough to stay appealing, but realistic enough to feel believable, emphasizing certain eye features. 10. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, great eyes aren't created by copying one style or memorizing one tutorial. They come from understanding form, perspective, anatomy, lighting, emotion, stylization. The more you study real eyes, the easier it becomes to simplify them without losing depth. And honestly, sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.